Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this edition of Come and See here at SSJ at Home. David Vogt with Habitat for Humanity at SSJ is our guest. David, welcome. Thanks for joining us and talking to us about things you have coming up. And I know November is a big month for you for a couple of reasons. You're going to get back at COVID by building in spite of the fact that it's still out there, because it slowed you down, but you're going to just go on anyway.
That's correct. And thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. And I've always admired what you all do at Habitat, and know a little bit about the background. I've had a lot of good friends involved in it. I know Jimmy Carter's a big proponent of it, and it's just something that I've always wanted to do, but never have it done. Tell me a little bit about how a person can become involved.
Well, it's very easy. We don't have any meetings. All of our get-togethers are done at the work site. All of my communication is done through Flock Notes. So anyone interested in participating, I tell them to go on to the SSJ Flock Note website, register if they have to, and then find the Habitat Ministry under the outreach category. And then just click on, I want to join, which will send me an email, and I immediately respond back and say, thanks for your interest. Stay tuned for future emails, which will tell you all about the work days and the schedule and what to expect.
You mentioned to me earlier that this is the second start of the year, and you plan to do 5 this year, but anybody listening that's not familiar would probably think, well, that's some hurried up building there, but you don't do a calendar year.
That's correct. We avoid the summer months because of the heat. So we typically start in the fall. Historically, the John Cooper School has been the first to start their home, and they start just as soon as school is back in session, but they're not building this year. So the first home actually started about 2 weeks ago. And we'll be the second start of 5 this year. We're going to only build 5 homes this year instead of 10 last year. And it may be a little slower going forward, depending upon how long COVID lasts. But yeah, we typically get finished in the spring before it starts to get too hot.
And what's the time element on a single Habitat build typically?
Well, in our case, we're going to start November 21st, which was the wall raise day. We'll put up the walls. All of our homes are 1 story. In this particular case, we'll be building a 2-bedroom home, and the slab is already there, so we don't get involved in that. And we'll be done by say middle of April.
On the one house.
Correct.
The second one that's coming up. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, all five run simultaneously.
Okay. Okay, that's something that's important to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you need how many people? Tell me what the involvement numbers are like, and do you need additional people?
Well, pre-COVID, the teams would be about 15 to 25 people on a work day, and we do work 2 Saturdays a month. And that's part of the tweaking of the schedule that's yet to be finalized, whether it'll be 1st and 3rd or 2nd and 4th. But we work 2 Saturdays a month from 8 in the morning until roughly 3 in the afternoon. And we'll, as I say, our first work day will be Saturday, November 21st. So this year, though, with COVID, we're going to be limited. Habitat has told me that we're going to be limited to roughly 10 volunteers on the work site, plus a few of the more experienced people that kind of float between the houses and help out. So there might be as many as 13, 14 on the work site on our work days, but 10 volunteers. So it's going to be extra special, extra important for volunteers that do sign up, and there is an online sign up for each workday that if they do sign up, that they show up, because we're going to be limited by the number of warm bodies we can have on the site.
I don't mean to be flip, by saying that you're going to build even with COVID still lingering out there, because I know you take the necessary precautions in the wake of all of this.
Yeah, we've had one or two sessions where we had a pretty good group of people out to do work on the house has already started, and I've been out there to help on part of that, and we all wore masks. There is obviously, you can't always be 6 feet apart from one another. Somebody's got to hold while somebody else cuts and nails or whatever, but we try to keep our social distance as much as we can, and all of the tools are sanitized at the end of the day. I've yet to get the details on what lunch is going to be like. We typically have invited another group in the parish to provide lunch, either the men's club or the Knights or the women's club, and they've stepped up mightily in the past to do that. But it'll be interesting to see how we get that done this year. It may be everything has to be prepackaged and brought out, and nobody touches anybody else's food. No open bags of chips and that kind of thing. So
the tools of my trade are a keyboard, and when I have a leaky faucet in the house, I consider it work to look for the phone number of the nearest plumber. Do you welcome people that don't have experience in the construction business, and how do people like that work out ordinarily?
We do welcome folks. We do. Habitat has rules which says that if you're under the age of 14, you can't be on the site, on the work site. Under 16, and you can't be on a ladder, and under 18, you can't operate a power tool. But past that, they have no skills criteria. And frankly, there's always a ladder that has to be held. There's always a board that has to be handed up. There's always a tool that needs to be fetched and that kind of thing. So there's always a need for people that don't have skills or just want to be exposed to it. But the reason I started some years back was I was pretty handy, but I wanted to see how they did it in real life, and I've learned quite a bit.
So if someone wants to become involved, you told us how they do it, but the process of being involved, the OKs and the registrations, and is that a process? Is that an involved process?
It's not involved. There'll be a website. The Habitat for Humanity Montgomery County website has a volunteer sign-up program associated with it. And before you can sign up for any workday, you'll have to sign a waiver that just says, look, if you do happen to get hurt on the job site, you're not going to hold Habitat responsible for that. But once you sign the waiver, you'll go into the volunteer site. You'll pick the particular Saturday that you want to work, and you'll sign up to work. All of the homes are built in the same neighborhood. In fact, literally next to one another, on the same street up in Conroe. So it's about a 15-minute drive. As I mentioned, we start at 8 in the morning, and we go through lunch to about 3 in the afternoon. It is not necessary that one come right at 8 and stay all the way till 3. We've had a lot of people that would come in the morning and then leave, or come later and stay till the end. It's always nice to have some people coming later in the afternoon as we are winding up and putting all the tools away and that kind of thing, cleaning up for the day. So yeah, it's very flexible, very flexible.
And you will be giving a pulpit talk a week from this coming weekend, November the 8th, I think you said.
Correct. I'll be talking a little bit about the Habitat philosophy and how the homeowners are selected, what our obligation is, which is basically to fund, in our case, 1/2 of a house. That's $30,000, and then also man the work site on the days that our house is scheduled to be built.
David Vogt of Habitat for Humanity. David, Thanks for coming by today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Y'all's work is admirable, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to contribute to humanity, and it's a wonderful opportunity for anyone who wants to get involved. So scroll back to the beginning of the video and get some details again about how you can become involved. And we appreciate you tuning in today. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.